And that's one of the reasons I wanted you to come on tonight, which is, if not for Biden insisting on being the candidate early on and there not being a process, you may have been in that field. Does this change your disposition at all with respect to the Democratic Party and their convention and your potential participation?
Well, if the Democratic Party was smart, they would come to me, because the polling consistently has shown that I'm the only person who, if I were running for a Democrat, as a Democrat, I'm the only person who could beat President Trump. In fact, Zogby did a poll this week that showed in a head-to-head race, I beat President Trump by 14 points. Kamala Harris loses to President Trump because I take a lot of President Trump's voters. That would be the smartest thing if they actually wanted to win the election. But I think the corporate forces that now control the Democratic Party ever since 2010, when the Citizens United case unleashed the tsunami of corporate money into the political process, both political parties have become essentially wholly owned subsidiaries of BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, the pharmaceutical industry, the military contractors, et cetera. And all of this chaos right now is distracting us from the thing that we really ought to be talking about, Chris, which is the affordability of, the fact that we're losing the American middle class, and mortgages have doubled in price over the past 4 years. 60% of Americans can't put their hands on $500 if they have an emergency in their family. We got $6 bread, we got $6 milk, we got $5 gasoline, and nobody can afford to live in this country anymore. A middle class, and it's all driven by these two presidents who spend $8 trillion apiece printing money, which is a tax on the middle class. If you earned $1,000 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, that $1,000 is worth $560 today, and it's because we spent all this money on wars and all this money on COVID, which these two presidents gave us, those lockdowns.
There's no question that's the discussion we should be having, and there's also no question that's why these two were so unpopular. We've never seen anything like this before, where the two main people were seen as weak as this. Now, you got into a point of intrigue this week, and I'll just ask you straight up to tell the audience, is it true that you offered in a phone call with Trump to get out of the race in exchange for a job in the administration?
No, that is not true.
What is the truth?
Well, President Trump called me actually a few hours after his assassination attempt, and he talked. We talked about unifying the country and the importance. I think he was really at that point, Chris. He said to me, he asked me actually during that conversation whether I had a religious bent, and I said, yeah, I do. And he said, well, I think I do right now, because I just had an experience like none other.
I'm sure he did right then. I mean, what a moment to survive.
Yeah, and it was really a miracle that he survived, and thank God that he did. But I think that he really had a kind of revelatory moment where he was thinking of, how do we unify this country? I'm very, very flattered that that he reached out to me. We had a long conversation that night, a couple of long conversations. They were very pleasant. I was very impressed by some of the things he said.
But it wasn't about you dropping out. We talked about a wide range of things, and I'm not going to go into the exact detail because that would violate a trust with President Trump. But there was no agreement made. And, I'm in it to win it. Our polling numbers are way up since that time. Our volunteer numbers since President Biden dropped out are way up. Our engagement numbers are way up. And, I'm in it to win it, as I've been from the beginning. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show. You have a platform for the duration of this election to make your case to the people. I've been very clear with the audience. I do not believe the parties should be exclusively deciding who gets a voice. We'll see how this plays out. Thank you for taking the opportunity. We'll speak again soon, Bobby. Thank you. Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of News Nation's fact-driven coverage.